Welcome again to another episode on Hangout with PF. Super excited to have you go on this journey with us. In the world that we live in, and also the predestination of every man, is to attain a position of dominion, to exercise authority on the earth, and to live out in fruitfulness, knowing that he has overcome, he has excelled, he has perfected, and also he's in a place where he can relax, as it were. So naturally, it comes to a man to always watch out for his own, ensuring that he remains in abundance, he enjoys the abundance, and also knowing that everything around him is settled and well. And in all of this, the entitlement idea comes into play when we begin to feel that everybody around us owes us one thing or the other. We feel, or we have the longing, that we deserve every and anything that our minds can project without us having to do anything, without us having to make any investment, to make any move, that everything will just be done for us. And in retrospect, that is we choosing to remain as a child, and not just an ordinary child, a baby, because a baby being born into the earth has his dependency on his mother every step of the way. So when they don't get what it is that they need at that time, there is the crying, there is the whining, and all of that. But as a child begins to grow and maturity begins to set in, you find that the child makes the effort to try to do things by themselves. They want to feed themselves, they want to clothe themselves, they want to go out unattended to, unhindered, because that is the actual nature of man. It said in the good book that we should be fruitful, then we multiply, we replenish, we subdue, and then we have dominion. Being fruitful requires us to produce something, to create an outcome of our lives, of our living, by reason of purpose, and also anything that we find to do in the process. In other words, when it's like, let's view it like a sole proprietorship, okay, where a man is the CEO, is the accounting officer, is the sales rep, is the human resource management, being only him. He also the innovator, he's also the producer, he's also the procurement officer. That kind of man, because of all the engagements that he has to do, will not expand beyond where he is or where he is starting from. And that's because if he expands, he will be faced with the difficulty of managing the expansion. And that's how or when multiplication comes in. And with multiplication, that is bringing on another person, going into partnership, it means that yes, there is a potential for a greater harvest and increased abundance. However, there is also increased consumption. But with the synergy that comes from partnership and the increased ability that is made available as a result of that partnership, you see that they begin to achieve more for less, in less time, achieving new grounds, going further, doing things that a single person was not able to do. But because consumption has also increased, we get to the phase where we need to replenish. So the system, our lives, our living must get to the point where it can sustain itself even as our partnership increases. And that's what the essence of replenishment means. Then we move on to the area where we begin to subdue. Because one thing we need to realize is that everyone in the world was designed to be a fixer. Everyone in the world is given to hold a solution to a certain issue. If we look at all of nature, creation put together, man inclusive, we will understand that we are dependent on each other. That is how God has made it. That is how God has ordained it. He says that he made man that he might manage the creation. So, for example, the trees take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. That oxygen is what the man takes in and brings out carbon dioxide. So even nature itself is codependent. There is no isolation anywhere. No one man is an island. No one tree makes a forest. And that's why we move from the place of fruitfulness, that is being productive on our own, and we move to multiplying so that we can expand, cover new grounds, achieve more with less. And we move to the point of replenishment where we are not reducing as a result of the expansion. We're actually increasing, fixing more and more situations per time. Then we get to the point where we subdue, we get the hand of it, we are doing more, we are achieving more, and to make and have a wider reach. Then we move on to the point, then we move on to dominion. Dominion in the sense that as far as that thing is concerned, that area of life is concerned, we have walked through the path and we have found a solution, a long-term solution, as it were. However, the 5-step process is a batch continuous process, in the sense that when you attain the level of dominion, within that system, the fruitfulness, someone is at the fruitfulness stage, another is at the stage of multiplication, then replenishment, then subduing, then we attain another level of dominion. So we see that in all of creation, there is no stagnancy. There is no just like there is innovation, there is also innovation in the outcome, in the experiences, in the things that become common attraction as time goes by. So in summary, as I begin to close, is that we are all fixers. The fact or the feeling of entitlement is one that we should not have, because we carry a solution, we carry an outcome, and that outcome is important. That outcome is essential to the survival of everyone as a whole. So even as we begin to think within ourselves, what can I do to bless my environment? What can I do to bless those that are around me? I want us to also know that none of your work or your labor goes unnoticed and in vain. You are treasured, you are important, and you are blessed. Till I come your way next time, God bless you.